Nothing says a manufacturer wants to extend the life of or draw attention to a car more than a special edition. First, we got just the special edition, then we got the Truno edition, then last year we got the Hakone edition, and now we've got this, the 2026 GR86 Yuzu Edition. As you can tell, it's yellow. It's bright yellow. This harkens back, GR says, to, I guess, the Series 1 release, they call it, of the original, not the original, but the first generation of this car. I guess there was a special edition. It was yellow. They brought the color back. Here we are. So you cannot spec this color on any other trim of the GR86, but this one. This is the only way to get this color. And they're only building 860 of these for North America. For Canada and the US, only 30 of those are staying here in Canada. Now, we'll get to some of the options and the specs a little bit later, but for now, let's just drive. So it also has this body kit. It's got a different front bumper, it's got side skirts, it's got a rear bumper, and a quad tip exhaust. The first quad tip exhaust for the GR86 with the GR stamped logo on either side. It looks really good, I think. It makes this just look as ridiculous as a GR86 could look. This formula here, lightweight front engine, rear wheel drive, manual transmission, sports car, is just aging so well as time goes on and other vehicles around us are getting more boring and more kind of mundane in their driving feel and characteristics. Something like this, that is just a basic original sports car recipe, is standing out more and more. So to just lean into that with the yellow and the body kit and the exhaust, I think that's great. Is it worth the price? We'll find out in a second, but the original formula here has not changed. Under the hood is still a naturally aspirated 2.4 liter Boxer 4, obviously from Subaru. This car still has a lot of Subaru kind of feel to it. Rear wheel drive, all GR86s come with a limited slip differential in the back, 228 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. That torque peaks at 3,700 RPM, so right in the center. Although there is real power up top, there is a real reason still to rev this thing out. This engine is so easy to over rev. It revs up real nice and quick. The good thing about a Boxer 4 with no turbo is that it's sat super low in the chassis. So we've got a super low center of gravity, close to 50-50 weight distribution. It's about 53% over the front wheels, 47 over the rear. The car's balanced. It's easy to drive. It's chuckable. The engine revs up super quick though. There we go. Everything's consistent. The steering feels easy, sharp. The shifter is light, but still really short, still really notchy. You still have to be intentional with your shifts. Heel toes are the easiest. It revs up nicely. It's got adequate torque. It's definitely adequate, especially because this car only weighs 2,820 pounds. It is the second lightest car on sale in North America, not North America, sorry, Canada or the US. Mexico has a bunch of Chinese imports and little small hatchbacks. We do also get here the Sachs dampers, 4-piston Brembo brakes up front, 2-piston Brembo brakes out back, and that's about it. And while we're stuck behind this truck right here, I will say, this exhaust drones. Anything below 3,500 RPM on throttle, even just a little bit, the drone is not good. Now, I think I'm young enough where I could put up with it Would I want to road trip this car? Absolutely not. Could I daily this car? Maybe up to an hour commute 5 days a week? Sure. There is fake noise being pumped in as well at the higher end of the RPM. That's when you really begin to notice it, especially in track mode. And the engine actually sounds good. The fake sound here that's being pumped in, it actually doesn't bother me too much because a Boxer 4 sounds pretty good in my opinion. Yes, it would sound better with a turbo on it. We can all agree with that. But in the same token, all of these other cars around this price point, the Civic Type R, which also pumps in an incredible amount of fake noise into the cabin, the GR Corolla, what else? The Honda Prelude. None of these cars sound particularly awesome. So I'm not really offended. It gives me enough feedback here to where I don't need to look down at the tach. Speaking of which, it's all digital, as you guys know, for this generation. I'd much rather be looking at an analog tach like the Indy MX-5 has. It soaks up bumps brilliantly. Nothing's unpredictable. The springs aren't bouncing me around at all. The damping is perfect. Oh, the steering weights up so nicely in the corners. It's way sharper than an Indy MX-5. It has a quicker steering rack. And even with the suspension that you don't get with a base GR86, it still has a good amount of body roll. And combine that with even good tires, and you have such a good sense of when the car is about to break loose. Double wishbone suspension in the back. When the rear end breaks loose in this car, which it will, even when you don't want it to, but it's largely controllable because, okay, you've only got 228 horsepower. This car's always manageable. You can throw it this way, that way, and it just takes it. It just soaks it up. Oversteer is the name of the game here, and it's the best. It's so good.
Unfortunately, it's not always that friendly. If I didn't have any weekend track days lined up or even just a good back road, the punishment my spine just endured all week would not be worth it. It's stiff, and it would take a certain kind of person to daily this car.
So the package itself is not necessarily the problem here. It's the packaging. So I mentioned they're only building 860 of these for the North American market, only 30 of which are left here in Canada. So the suspension and the brakes here, the 4-piston Brembos and the Sachs dampers here, are from the performance pack. Thing is, here in Canada, that's not an option. So if you just want a premium trim GR86 with a manual, you cannot spec these dampers or brakes. You have to get this Yuzu Edition at a $9,000 premium. In the States, that's not an issue. You can spec the performance pack for the brakes and the dampers. Not only that, but you're able to separately spec this body kit and the quad exhaust. The only things that are exclusive here are the paint color and the yellow stitching on the interior. With all this being said, and especially the other week coming out of the new Honda Prelude, the GR86 is incredibly practical. Little button here to pop the trunk. It does have a fair amount of space in here. It's not huge, and I have no idea why this load floor here is so high. There's no spare tire under there. So they could have opened this up a lot more and utilized the space a little bit better below. But the rear seats do fold down. That makes things easy. Yeah, back seats are good if you fit. They are fairly deep. They're kind of trying to give you that bucket feel back there, and it works. And one attention to detail, one little thing I do love is, see that yellow stitching back there? For the front seats, it carries over to the rear seats. They have not pulled a Prelude and given up on the back seats completely, which I can appreciate. The seats are awesome. We get yellow stitching here. The premium package on which this is based already had the Alcantara or the Ultra Suede and leather trimmed interior here. Super comfortable. I mean, to take a car that is just kind of a cheap aluminum and plastic car with an LSD and make it feel comfortable is quite a feat, and they've done that. Although I will say the Prelude's steering wheel is better, just from a grip perspective, around 9 3. In keeping with the theme here of simplicity, all of the climate control is analog, which is perfect. And compared to the first generation, they've actually integrated the infotainment here a little bit better than they did the first time around. It's no longer just an aftermarket looking touchscreen. It works nicely. I will say there is no wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. It's all wired, so you have to put your phone back here. Not a big deal for this price point. I'm driving a manual. It is so infuriating to jump in a car where my elbow is going to be hitting my mug or my water bottle or coffee, whatever. They've solved that. They've put the cup holders way back here, which is great. They've also, I don't know how they've managed to do this, and so many SUVs I've driven have not. This cup holder in the door is perfect. I've got a giant mug of coffee here that has not made a single rattling sound this entire drive and fits right there. Reach over, grab it, it's easy. So ergonomically speaking, it's perfect. Zero complaints. So like I said, this is based on the premium trim that also gets you an 8-speaker audio system versus the standard 6-speaker audio system. We also get heated seats here, which is very welcome if this is going to be your only car. And unfortunately, the drone is not the last thing I don't like about this car. To make up for the fact that this only has 184 pound-feet of torque, the first 20 to 30% of the throttle pedal is where you feel all of the torque. There is such an immediate change when you go just from getting off the line, and then right around 20%, there's a noticeable shove of torque. The throttle pedal is not linear, and it makes me so frustrating because everything past 50% throttle, like let's say you're at 70% throttle and then you punch it to the last 100%, you don't feel anything. There is zero change. 70% throttle is as good as 100% throttle. So when I go into track mode, I was really hoping that the throttle calibration would just return to a 100% linear map, but it doesn't. I get why they do it, and it makes it feel quicker around town. But if you like to just constantly manage inputs, if you're a management kind of person and you like juggling, this is the car. I mean, it's constantly giving you different things to pay attention to. The game of just attempting to match revs, get your shifts perfect, get the throttle perfect on the exit of a corner. Now the Yuzu Edition here in Canada has an MSRP of $45,000. For you guys in the States, that's $36,000. Here's where it all kind of breaks down. If you were to spec a premium manual transmission GR86 in the US, you could add on all of these options minus the color and come in $1,000 less than we are here. So if you want everything about this package, everything except for the color, well, okay, and the yellow stitching on the interior. If you want everything but those things, you can do that, and there's no extra price you have to pay. So the option is there. Like I mentioned, here in Canada, it's the only way to get the suspension, the Brembo brakes, the body kit, and the exhaust. So it's the best combination here in Canada and cross between the performance options of this car and the luxury options that come with the premium package on which this special edition is based. It's just not as special, especially in the US, as the special edition badge would lead you to believe. So thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you very soon.